meet and discuss galamsey or small-scale illegal mining in our various constituencies so that together we can fashion out a solution to the problem. Because it is a problem that confronts all of us, and it's a problem that all of us must be involved in solving. Unless we work together, we will not be able to resolve this problem. And this minister appreciates that and has organized this conference. And so I urge all sides of the House to attend the conference. And what the minister wants to do at the conference is to get us all to honestly declare the activities in our various constituencies and individually as parliamentarians provide strategies and proposals as to how the problem can be dealt with in our constituencies so that he can consolidate that into a national strategy. Because all of us represent constituencies, and the constituencies put together cover the whole of Ghana. So if we MPs in this chamber, everybody comes with a proposal as to how to deal with it in our individual constituencies, and he consolidates that, and that becomes the framework guiding his actions and inactions, we believe that the problem will be effectively solved, because it is the MPs and the district chief executives working together who can solve this problem. Mr. Speaker, when I was Minister for Environment, I made it a point to visit galamsey sites. I visited sites where I saw huge excavators excavating. I saw young girls carrying the material on their heads in pans, hundreds of them. Most of them spoke languages that I understood. They were mostly from the north. They were girls who in their 15 years, 16 years, 17 years, and they carried the pans the whole day, and then the excavators were there. I had conversations with them. Some of them were in secondary school. They had come there during vacation to work and earn something and go back to their communities and etc. Our people say that when you tumble and fall, don't look at where you fell. Look at where you hit the stone. That's where the problem is. To solve this problem, we must look at creating alternative livelihoods in the less developed regions of our country. We must invest in irrigation in the north. We must invest in large-scale commercial farms in the north so that when they have alternative livelihoods, they will not be tempted to come and be carrying pans from morning till evening because they have an alternative livelihood. And so the solution to the problem does not lie only at the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. The solution to the problem lies in all the other ministries. Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Trade and Industry. These ministries need to up their games and create the alternative livelihoods that will attract these young people instead of wanting to go and engage in the risky business of galamsey. Mr. Speaker, I went to some sites as Minister for Environment, and you will see them dig a hole in forest reserves, and they used to attract small boys and deceive them that they had enhanced their spiritual, powers, and encourage those children to go deep down the holes and go and dig and come out with material for them to go and process. These children were basically primary school children. They had abandoned their families, they had abandoned their schooling, and they were now engaged in this very risky business. And then they created shanty communities around them, where they used plastic bags and created homes for themselves. Mr. Speaker, it was deplorable to see things like that. So it is a real problem. But Mr. Speaker, I see the problem as a crisis of law and order. Why do I say it's a crisis of law and order? The minerals and mining law has very beautiful provisions that if we just followed it and implemented it, it will deal significantly with the problem. What are the provisions, Mr. Speaker? One, people realize that there's gold somewhere, they will go and dig. No matter what you do, it's not just Ghana, anywhere in the world. When people hear that there is gold anywhere, whether it is in America or Australia or in Europe or in South Africa, Mr. Speaker, if we hear that there's gold beneath this chamber, by the time you go back and come back tomorrow morning, you will see some people who will come and find ways and means of digging underneath this chamber to extract the gold. That is gold for you. And that is how gold has attracted people over the period in history. So you cannot stop gold mining. You cannot. What you should do is to legalize gold mining. So the Minerals and Mining Law says that the minister, is that okay, when he identifies an area that could become a small-scale gold mining site, he should so designate it as a small-scale gold mining site. When he designates it as a small-scale gold mining site, it gives the regulatory authorities the powers to now intervene. When I went to the illegal gold mining sites, I noticed, and I was the Minister for Environment, and I went there, and I didn't see my EPA officers. EPA officers were not there. When I asked them, why are you not here helping them to do it properly? They said, because it's an illegal activity, we at EPA cannot come and be supervising them. So when the minister designates it as a small-scale mining area, then the EPA will now be able to move in and also provide them with technical support as to how to do it properly. At the same time, the EPA will monitor the purchase of mercury and the use of mercury at that location. EPA will monitor the purchase of explosives and the use of explosives, and then all the other processing activities. Mr. Speaker, I spoke to a number of illegal miners, and they said, look, Minister, if we can rent an excavator and bring the excavator this far and keep the excavator here excavating, what makes you think that I cannot use the services of the EPA? What makes you think that I cannot use the services of a proper mining engineer? And I asked, so why are you not using them? I am not using them because what I'm doing here is illegal, and at any time, the soldiers can move in and take whatever equipment I have brought here. So I have to dig as fast as possible, scoop as much as I can, process it as quickly as possible, and get out of this place. So this is what is driving them. It's not that they cannot make the investments to legalize it. And some of them even told me that they make payments to their assemblies. So my concern about reclamation, they expect the assemblies, when they take the money, to come and do reclamation after they have left. In some cases, some even showed me receipts of some payments that they made to assemblies. I'm talking about 8 years ago. So this is a problem that I think if we sit as members of parliament and we marshal the relevant political will, we have both the legal framework for resolving the problem and the political commitment to dealing with it. As for those who mine in forest reserves and those who mine along water bodies, these are no-go areas. We cannot allow that to happen. And the minister has spoken about the levels of pollution of our water bodies. So if our water bodies are polluted to this extent, we as a country must appreciate that mining in water bodies is totally unacceptable, and we must stop it. And we have the capacity to stop it, because every river passes through a political district, and that political district has a district security committee. There is a district police station there with police officers. Some of them, and they fall within a region with a regional police security committee. And some of them fall in regions that even have military bases. I think so far across the country, in almost every region, there is some military base or the other. So I cannot understand how the Ghana Armed Forces, the military, will convince me that they don't have the capacity to police our water bodies. That is the point. The point is, there is an allegation, there is a claim that even those who are supposed to enforce the law, to monitor it, are also involved. Mr. Speaker, and that is where political commitment and the commitment of all of us come into play. And so, Mr. Speaker, let me thank the maker of the statement. Let me assure the Minister that this House will attend the conference that he's organizing for members of Parliament, that we will honestly assist him identify the operations in our various constituencies, and we will sit with him individually to see how and if there are aspects of operations in our constituencies that can be legalized, and then the small-scale miners assisted, technical support provided, involving the EPA, so that where we can legalize it, formalize it, and supervise it to be conducted in an environmentally friendly way, we do so. And where we need to enforce the law and ensure that the military and the police move against them, we give them the political backing so that they move and stop all those operations from taking place. Mr. Speaker, I really want to thank the Minister and thank colleagues for such a non-politicized contribution and commentary to the statements that I've made. I want to thank the available leader because he's been very, very, very fair and honest, and I think that if he continues along those lines, he will easily become the leader of the minority side.